Hello, and welcome to episode 58 of the Sunday League Pundit Show with myself, Stretch. I'm a very good friend off camera, Tin Ribs, and my very good friend on camera, Jim Jam. How are we, gentlemen?
Good.
Yeah, not too bad.
Right.
We're good?
Yeah.
We must first, very importantly, apologise for last week because
Yes.
it sounded horrendous. We'd got an echo, we're not sure where it came from. It affected the whole episode last week and it sounded horrendous. So we do sincerely apologise, but I have been out and bought new equipment this week. And we have just had a little test, and I've had a little test during the week that I sent to you both. As it stands, it's sounding great. Whether it does when it comes out to you guys, we're really just hoping that it will.
Fingers crossed.
So hopefully the new equipment that was purchased is going to make a big difference, because it's not fair really for us to be putting out stuff that sounds so bad. Vinny, who joined us last week, is also going to be joining us next week to basically re-record that episode because it was unlistenable. So again, sincere apologies for that. There was not a lot we could do about it, and we do think it was an issue with the equipment that has now been replaced. So let's go back to the episode. And do we have a Jim Jam, the Statman stat?
Yeah, because I've done some stats as we're like a third of the way through the season now. So I was looking at how goals are scored like I did last season. So I was like, headed goals. There's only Ipswich in the Premier League that has not scored a header. It is Tranmere in League 2 that have not scored a header yet.
I'm actually not surprised about the Ipswich one.
And in the Championship, there's two teams that have not scored headers, that being Swansea and Leeds United have not scored a header this season yet.
Not scored a header? That's quite shocking
So,
for Leeds.
Yeah, but we don't score set pieces either, so it's
No.
all right.
So, and then I was like,
I imagine Arsenal scored the most.
yeah, I didn't really
Gabriel
look at
more
that
than
one.
anything else.
So we had like, so right-footed and left-footed goals. What do you reckon the most is?
Right-footed. No, left-footed, because most of the goal scorers are left-footed, like Saka and Odegaard and Salah. They're all bloody left-footed.
No,
aren't
you
they?
should have stuck with your initial instincts.
Is it
It's right foot is significantly higher. It's very close in the Premier League, though. It's like 132 right-footed goals and 105 left-footed goals. So speaking of that, so left-footed goals here's there. I thought I'd deleted it then. So Lincoln City and Morecambe have not scored a left-footed goal this season yet. Across the 92, they're the only two there. The most right-footed goals have been scored by Norwich with 19, and Sheffield United have scored the most left-footed goals with 13 left-footed goals. More stats next week.
More stats next week. Seems a great place to play the music. Hello, and welcome to episode 58 of the Sunday League Pundit Show. We're going to do what we normally do now and go into the week's events. In part one, there is a lot to talk about. Most notably this week, the amount of fucking penalties that's been given away. There was 2 in Arsenal's game, there was 3 in Bournemouth's game. There was another penalty somewhere else. Well, there's been loads. Penalty after penalty after penalty.
There's none on Friday night.
No, not on Friday night. To be fair, you probably should have won.
Well, I'm sure we're going to talk about that.
Well, let's talk about it because it was the first game of the week.
First game of the week.
We're not going to go into...
Okay.
Unless you want to start with the European games.
No, we can go back to that. We'll start with Southampton's game. So, Brighton absolutely spanked us in the first half.
I would agree with that.
Oh my word, it was an onslaught. It was
agree.
Absolutely shocking defending by all parts. And when they eventually scored their goal, ball bounced in the box and Matoma headed it in past the keeper. Keeper couldn't do anything about it, but the defending should be so much better. I don't get how you can cross a ball into a box, it bounces, and your defenders are nowhere near. They're not in the middle of the box. It just seemed shambolic.
That was one of my my notes actually about your game.
Yeah.
Was, where is it? There it is. I've put, how can you let the ball bounce before someone gets a header in when a cross comes into the box?
Yeah. I'm like, it amazed me. So all I can say is first half to go in.
I'd like to point something out as well, actually, if I may.
Yeah.
It's something that I found out just after that game. Right,
Yeah.
I went on to Twitter, X, whatever weird people want to call it, and right, we don't normally call people out on here. However, Charlie Anderson at Chando1805, Southampton fan, apparently.
Okay.
So you click onto his profile. Hashtag Saints FC season ticket holder.
Okay.
Hashtag Saints. Hashtag Let's Go Pens. Whatever that means. I don't even know if that's to do with Saints, but I'm sorry. I just don't get the hype around Dibbling. Bang average at best. Wouldn't get into any other Premier League team. Could only play Southampton style of football. Would be a massive waste of money for any club scouting him, in my opinion. Hashtag Saints FC. Now, as an outsider looking at Saints, I think that guy's fucking mental. I think he needs help.
I think he needs help as well.
Because...
Now, there's a lot that Dibbling needs to learn as well. Like on the defensive side of things. His defensive side of things
have you
is
seen his
shocking.
first touch and his control?
Oh,
and his dribbling?
Brilliant. It's superb.
So
My response as a podcast under the Sunday League Pundits banner, honestly, I think he could be superb. He's already better than most teenagers, to be fair.
how old is he? Like 12?
I mean, he looks at like 11, but I think he's 19, 18, 19, 18.
Around there.
He's about 18.
Exact age.
He's
But he's
bloody
superb.
brilliant.
He looks it. He looks
How
very
can
good.
a Saints fan look at him and go, oh, bang average at best? I mean, mate, you need fucking help. Because that kid's... That's like me looking at Nwaneri going, oh, he's
Bang
average.
average.
I think one of the problems.
Clearly they're not.
I think one of the problems you've got is there's that rose-tinted glasses that a lot of people have when they support a team, and they get their next big player through, and there's always that hype around a new player that's like your player that you've homegrown and stuff.
Yeah.
And I get the feeling that he's sort of like counteracting that with the whole, he's not that good. We just think he's better than he is. The problem is you've got other people who aren't Saints fans raving on about how good he is. I mean,
Because he really is that good.
yeah, I mean, I'm going to use an example that isn't quite right, but it's an example that works at this exact moment.
Yeah.
Grealish at Villa was like, everyone was on about how he was the best midfielder in England, he's the best player ever, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't scored in 11 months.
Yeah, he hasn't played a great deal in
what I'm
that
saying
time
is
either. But
He's played enough to
He's
score
played
a
enough
goal.
to score a goal.
yeah, of
though.
course he has. Of course
And he's
he
playing
has.
in the team that's supposedly that good that they can create goals, and they're not creating goals. Is that because he's not good enough to create goals? But what my point is that's sort of like, it's not the best example I could use. It's just the one that immediately came to my head. But it's that idea that to Villa fans, he was the greatest player ever. He's the best player. We should never let him go. City spent ridiculous amounts of money on him, and then he's sort of average. He's not really the player that...
Yeah, but then
And he's not the player that was...
Phillips
Absolutely.
is another one they
Have you heard
killed.
Ipswich are looking at sending him back because he's not going to get into shape?
Sinclair is another one City destroyed.
Yeah.
There's others that City
Yeah,
have
we should
destroyed.
mention it
Grealish has
many
been another
times.
one. But I tell you what, the right back as well from Forest, whose name escapes me at the moment, they destroyed him as well. And Gray.
Yeah.
They are going to kill that boy. They brought him on for 6 minutes today, albeit he went off after 3 because he got injured.
Yeah.
But they're just going to destroy him, and he is superb. But Tottenham and City are going to destroy these players.
What players
That's
need to
Tottenham, wouldn't
realise is that
Not
grass
City,
isn't
sorry.
always greener on the other side.
it? It's the money.
It's
I think a lot of it's agents as well. It's not even the players.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't. I
mercenaries.
think Gray would have quite happily stayed at Leeds, but I think his agent saw 5.8 million or whatever stuck on the table and was like, "You need to do this move. It's in your best interests." No, it isn't. It's in yours, mate.
Yeah. Shall we go back to the game?
Go for it.
So, I thought we were very lucky to go into half time with the scoreline
I
the
would
way
agree.
it was.
I would agree.
Very, very lucky.
I think you could have been done over in the first half.
Yeah. So we come out second half, and we were the better team in the second half. We were, whatever he said at half time, fair play. You must have shouted at him.
Lit a rocket.
Yeah, lit
Yeah.
a rocket. So scored a nice goal. Downs finished it, and then we scored a second goal where I was wrong. I was like, it's offside. Why is it taking so long for him to call offside? But when they drew the lines, Archer was onside. 4 minutes we waited for that, and then they decided, oh, he's onside. Now let's look at Armstrong, who didn't touch the ball, and their goalkeeper after the game goes, not sure why that was offside. But he was supposedly put off.
Nobody, apart from the officials, knew why that was called offside. That was a perfectly legitimate goal. There was nothing wrong with it at all.
We're getting screwed over.
You're shaking your head like
weeks.
you've got a different opinion on that.
Armstrong tries to play the ball.
Behind him.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't affect the keeper.
Yep. I don't give a shit if it did.
That's the rule. If it affects the keeper.
It's if it affects a player. If you make a play for a ball that affects a player.
Which it didn't. It didn't affect anybody.
He still made a move for the ball.
It didn't affect
Nobody's
anybody.
arguing that he made a move for the ball.
I'm not arguing the movement
They're not
towards
going to
the
stand
ball.
there and go, right, he's made a move for the ball. Just go and ask the keeper if he...
No, but you can tell
It's
by
fine.
looking
The
at it
keeper's
that he
already come out and said that he wasn't affected.
No, he came out after.
Yes, but
Yeah.
we all saw that and knew that it hadn't affected anybody.
I'm going to ask you this, right? How many... so we may be different, but in the main scheme of things, people are not honest. So if someone goes up... If the referee goes, hang on a minute, walks up to the keeper and goes, you're about to lose the game, but I need to ask, did that bother you? What happens if it did? We're going to disallow the goal.
No.
Oh, yeah, it totally put me off. No one's going to... You won't know. Hindsight, yeah, he's going, well, I don't know. I didn't see it. Because it doesn't matter anymore. In the moment when it matters, I guarantee you'd gone, oh yeah, it totally put me off.
I think
You
if
don't need
that's
to ask
Manchester
him.
City going for that and Haaland made that flick, I don't think they are even looking at it.
Well, not if Taylor or Kavanagh are in charge of it, that's for damn sure.
That's the biggest issue at the moment. I think that there's some sort of bias there. Look,
I
I'm
definitely think
okay
there's
with
bias.
it.
We know there's
We see
bias
that
because we've
and
seen the videos.
So, but 1-1, I'd have taken that result.
I personally think you should have won it, but I do think you were lucky at half-time to not be.
Brighton are undefeated at
Getting
home,
a
and
hammer
they went second in the league with that result. So 1-1, decent result. We've got to capitalise on that. Now there were a few bookings, and there were big bookings for us. So Taylor Harwood-Bellis got a booking. He misses the next game against Chelsea. We've already lost Ramsdale and Bednarak for them games, so it's going to be a really makeshift defence going into that game. Tyler Diblin, with his take out of a player, misses the game against Chelsea. Flynn Downs, with his booking, maybe he should have been sent off in that game. He could have got a second booking.
Yeah, it was definitely on the cards.
Yeah, he misses the game against Chelsea. Now, the game against Chelsea are looking pretty decent, which we'll talk about Chelsea's game in a bit.
Yep.
But they're a decent team, and I think that we're going against Villa after that next weekend. And to have them players rested, like Harwood-Bellis, Flynn Downs, Tyler Diblin, they've got a week's rest. Villa are playing in the middle of that one as well. Them bookings might not be too bad because we're probably going to lose to Chelsea anyway. And what result are we more likely to get? Are we going to more likely get a result against Chelsea or Villa? At the moment, with Villa's form and the number of games they're playing, I think Villa. So some of them bookings may have been slightly more tactical than seems to meet the eye.
Well, we're going to Villa as well in a minute.
So,
But I think you were
and I
unlucky.
will say as
not to
well,
win.
before I do, Rutter, he's a good player, but my word, he needs to learn to stay on his feet. Every slight touch, he's always down. And I said that every game I watched about when I watched Leeds last year. And I said it to you, bloody hell, Rutter goes down far too easy. He doesn't change.
And yet, when we watched him, how many times did he go down easy?
I don't think he did.
Exactly.
I think he had an absolutely cracking game that game.
Yeah.
But obviously that was the break from the norm.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
Because he does fall
Every
over a
time
lot.
I see
Well,
him
certainly
play,
has
he
been.
goes down a lot. Every
has been in the
slight
Premier
You know what I
touch.
think it might be, though? When he first came to Leeds in the Premier League, he struggled. In the Championship, he muscled off a lot of people to make the play. Now he's back in the Premiership. Maybe he can't muscle people off now. Maybe it's sort of like the level of skill required for him to muscle players off. And let's face it, the Premiership's a pussy bitch league. you breathe on someone, and they're getting cut. They're going.
Well,
so
this is something else we're going to go into.
Maybe he's had to
in the
adapt,
games.
and he's been told if someone does drop, just go down.
As using your term, and I put it in our chat, he's getting it a lot with that fifth official and his bat.
Yeah.
For me.
Oh no,
But I'm not doubting that he's a good player, but I think
I
he
just
needs
think-
to stay on his feet more.
I think there is a thing in the Premier League where they just say, "Oh, if you feel a touch, just go down."
Move on to the next game. We've got Palace Newcastle. Right, my only note in the whole game was terrible. It's the
I'd
only
have rather
note I've made.
Newcastle won that one being down at the bottom, so 1-1's a bit of a...
It's not the end of the world, though, is it? It's only 1 point rather than Palace actually winning it, but I've literally just written game was terrible.
I mean, I'm talking like it even matters.
Game was terrible.
Yeah, that's all I've got. And then we've got Forest Ipswich. Now, for me, I don't know if have you seen Match of the Day or the highlights or whatever?
Yeah,
Which you should have done because we do a football podcast. Tin Rib's shaking his head over in the corner. Gibbs White, 100% should have had a penalty before they got the penalty. The ball gets crossed over and literally the defender's bear hugging him. And it couldn't have been more obvious. The second the ball went in the box, I went, pen. It was so clear cut. It was crazy. Not given, not even looked at. Not even looked
Doesn't
at.
surprise me.
They then got a penalty, which was so soft. So soft.
Do you think the ref felt bad? So
I bet you the
next
assistant
opportunity, I'm just gonna give
referees
it
have gone, you've made a mistake.
Oh, you've made an
You made a
absolute
mistake. You
howler
need
there,
to
'cause
give
he
him a
was-
penalty now.
He was hugging him.
Yeah.
So then when someone got almost grazed in the box, they gave a penalty for it.
Yeah.
Forest could have had 3 penalties. Because I caught one later on as well that they should have had and didn't have. And I've made a note saying the Ipswich goalkeeper was fucking outstanding.
Yeah, he's a good keeper.
He made some absolute blinding saves during that game.
You have to.
Brilliant.
When you're down at the bottom of the league, you need a good keeper.
Oh, and he is good. Very, very good from what I've seen. It then also brings me on to Adidas, whatever you want to call them. The German, I'm not bothered. Adidas. Every fucking goalkeeper kit that they've got is the same exact design.
You've
It's so
only just
boring.
noticed this.
No, but it's only just started annoying me enough to want to mention it.
This is literally the same. This has been the same shit for years.
Oh, it's so
Nike.
boring.
Yeah, but we said that about all the kits, even not just goalkeeper
I
kits.
know, but I just because we haven't specifically mentioned goalkeeper kits, I figured I had to bring it up because it's now starting to annoy me to the point where I really wanted to talk
Well,
about it.
it was like
'cause
when
it's
you
just doing
said
me head in.
the
Every
Macclesfield
fucking-
kit was different to
Lovely.
to others, but then it still has the same generic design within it.
But at least there's something different to looking at it. Do you know what I mean? For me, the best kit makers, bar none right now, Macron.
Absolutely.
Bar none, Macron are the best. And I mean head and shoulders above everyone else. And the one example I'm going to give is Crystal Palace.
Yeah, their kit's smart.
Yeah.
Because they have got, hands down, the best kit in the Premier League this season.
Well, didn't we? Sorry, start again. Remember when we did that whole who's got the best kit? Most of them were Macron.
Yeah, of course
Yeah.
they are. Like Macclesfield's kits from a few years ago, my favourite were always the Macron ones. When they were sponsored by ZAM. And they've
Yeah.
got the black and grey hooped one. And
Yeah.
it's an absolutely lovely kit, Macron. Keep going. Because
you
need to make
Yeah.
kits for everybody. Blackburn, another kit
that
we...
retro look kit is just absolutely
It's another
gorgeous.
kit that we were praising at the beginning of the season. Talking about Blackburn.
Yeah.
You know what I find funny? We've skimmed over talking
Blackburn.
about the Championship and Leeds for about a month now, but the second we lose, you want to talk about it. It's really weird, that one, isn't it?
Not weird at all. We just want to make you feel bad. Blackburn, you'll be pleased to hear, Daryl.
With that stat about the penalties.
Yet another penalty,
And it is a penalty.
which I was just about to say, which to be fair,
No, it is. It's
was a Stonewall penalty. There wasn't really much in it. The penalty itself wasn't great. Lucky
it was
that
enough.
It's a question.
I
Why
mean, it
did
was
you kick
enough.
off the time that you did? Because I was looking for
I
it
don't know.
on TV.
Don't know.
Because it was an early kickoff. I thought, the Leeds game's going to be on TV.
Something
I'm
to
going to
do
go
with,
watch it. And then I was like,
Something to do with
it's not
policing
on.
or something. It was something to do with the
Yeah.
policing or something.
But
Unfortunately, the link that I watched it through was the Blackburn TV thing. Oh
I
my
bet
god!
that was
You
fun.
want to talk about deluded fans? Jesus Christ, their commentators are absolutely deluded. There's a challenge by Doylan, and it's literally shin high, double-footed, it's like a scissor, and he catches Firpo in the shin. It is a yellow card. It is exactly what the referee does. And they go, I don't even know if he's touched him. It's not a yellow card. It's barely a foul. It's like, are you actually deluded that much?
Some people really
At
are.
least,
Maybe that's how they got the
Blackburn-
job on the radio.
I mean, that wasn't that wasn't the only time they were deluded, but yeah.
Maybe that's how
Blackburn
they
did
got the
do a
radio
good
job.
thing though. They allowed 7,000 Leeds fans to share misery together
Yeah, do you know why?
because they don't get enough
Because
to fill
they
their own
can't fill their own
stadium.
stadium, so they have to rely on clubs that actually can fill stadiums to do so.
Very salty, this is.
No, they had
Yeah.
the perfect. They played the
I can
perfect.
taste the salt in the
tactic
air.
to beat
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
But John Eustace has that. John Eustace has beat Daniel Farke 3 times in our last.
But again, the championship table is so good because the results that happened, it was good for Sheffield United. They'll be really disappointed by them 2 points. Them 2 point deduction could cost them
It probably will cost them. I genuinely think it will cost them.
because they're 3 points clear of you now, is it?
Yeah,
and
3 clear of us, 2 clear of Burnley.
Sunderland have
I mean,
gone on a right dip now.
I will
They've
say
drawn
that,
like
that
6 in
that
a row
Leeds
or
game
something.
could have gone either way, like because you had your chances.
But that's why they played the perfect strategy against us. They didn't, although we dominated the game, we weren't really allowed much. We didn't get much on target. And to be fair, Piers pulled off 2 absolute class saves.
Yeah.
I mean, he literally nearly handed it us on a plate and then made a really good.
I would
one-on-one.
agree with that.
That one-on-one was
It was good.
a fantastic
It
save.
was very, very
and
good.
the one from the free kick where it was at that
Oh,
awkward
yes.
position
Yeah.
and he got it out. So Piers had a really good game, but again, they didn't really allow us to have many opportunities. We had plenty of the ball. We had it, but they didn't really allow us to have that opportunity to score. They played the perfect game.
It was a decent game. I don't know about perfect, but it was certainly a good game because you had your chances, didn't you? Hit the post with
yeah, but
Nonto as well.
Yeah.
So it's not like they completely shut you out. You had your chances. Could have
we just didn't take them. But that's been
just didn't take them.
for a team that have scored so many goals. We don't take our opportunities.
Yeah.
We don't. We lack a killing edge. We massively cut.
You are the same as me
And what really
with our teams, and as much as we've been screaming for a proper striker for years, you're the same.
Do you know what really pissed me off about the game though? You know how I hate Bamford? You know how I scream that the guy can't get on side
Yeah.
to save his life?
Yeah.
We scored! Got ruled out. Bamford was off fucking side. However, the fact that the player was swinging off his shirt and pulled him into an offside position, I think, was a little bit harsh. But again, he just needs to learn how to be on side.
Yeah.
Seriously, is it that fucking difficult?
Clearly, it is for him. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So you played him another game as well because obviously he played Luton in midweek.
yeah, we absolutely dominated that game.
Luton are rubbish.
That was a brilliant performance.
I'm not sure if I'd have given them that much credit, to be honest.
They are
were
garbage.
they were horrendous with, and that's a team that had made it to the Premier League.
Yeah.
That's not the team that the way it's like when they played in the Premier League. They had fight, they had ambition. Against us, they pretty much rolled over.
They're rolling
They've
over
done that against everybody.
most.
Yeah,
They'll be in trouble, especially
They'll
if
go
like
down.
QPR are picking up points.
Luton will go down.
I don't think they will.
Portsmouth
I
were
think they will.
2-0 up against Swansea, looking like they were trying to get a good win for them.
No, I don't.
But I'm kind of glad that they drew 2-2 and they're still bottom of the league.
I don't see Luton going down.
I do.
There's,
I really do see them
there's
potentially going
there's
down.
worse teams down there.
Other teams playing worse down there because I don't think there are.
As long as the team's
Yeah.
beginning
The
with
the team might be worse. Yeah,
Hull
you just
are
want,
playing.
you just want Portsmouth to go back
Portsmouth,
down. don't you?
Plymouth. I mean, Plymouth got trashed 4-0, didn't they?
Yeah.
Was it 4-0?
Yeah,
That's
Wow,
Hull
Bristol City.
are horrendous.
shocking
at the moment.
considering the
Yeah, they've sacked the
they've got in
manager.
charge.
Yeah,
That
Hull-
was another one where the manager had done quite well, and they sacked him, didn't they?
How do you feel about management changes then? Because you haven't changed and Leicester have now employed Van Nistelrooy.
I think Van Nistelrooy is a gamble. He's obviously done well in his games
I would agree.
with Man United, but the teams that they obviously played Leicester twice and a game in Europe against a team from not a major City. I can't remember who it was.
Well, they played them at home, didn't they?
Yeah, so they should
And
have won.
It was the first home game. I think it was the first win in Europe for a year, but
Yeah.
they played a bang average European side. I can't remember who it was either, but
No.
I remember seeing it thinking, well, that's a bit of a gimme
You
for
should
him,
be
innit?
beating them teams.
Yeah.
So, I'd have taken him at Southampton. I'd have took the gamble with him.
Would you still take a gamble with somebody else?
I'm really on the... I'm so far on the fence it hurts.
You got splinters.
Yeah, because there's a part of me that's like, we know what we get with Russell Martin.
Yeah, relegated.
And it's going to be relegated. But it's more the fact that it's not his tactics. He would do well at Manchester City right now.
Pep isn't, so someone's got to do.
Because it's just the players aren't good enough. The players aren't good enough for it. January transfer window is massive for Southampton.
I would agree. I definitely
It's getting
think
to the point where we
there
might
needs
as
to be
well
a change
keep him.
there. Needs to be
Because he got a good
for me.
result against Brighton. He's obviously won against Everton. He's deserved more than he's
Everybody
got.
fucking wins against Everton. Even United have spanked Everton today, and United are garbage.
So I'm more leaning on the Russell Martin in fence.
Well, that, to me, honestly, I think that's a good thing. If I'm honest, I think it is a good thing because you're supporting your manager. Let's move on to Leicester, who played Brentford. Now, I have some stats for you when it comes to the Brentford-Leicester game, which I thought was going to be in your stats. Okay, stat number 1, Brentford have 20 points. Guess how many they've got away from home? No? 1. 19 of their points have been scored at home.
Wow.
Jeez.
And they have 1 point away from home. Also, the one away point, by the way, was a 0-0 draw with Everton. Everything else away from home they've lost.
Bad away from home.
1 point away from home, and that was a 0-0
That's
draw to
pretty
Everton.
mental, actually.
Not a very good
Right,
travelling.
another stat. This is the first game in history where 3 penalties have been won by the same player in one game and then converted by the same player in one game, albeit them being 2 different players. Evan Nielsen won them. Clivert scored them. Not the first time somebody scored 3 penalties in one game, because that's also happened in 1921, 1950 and 1957. That was the last time the same player has scored a hat-trick of penalties in the same game. So it's the first time since 57 that that's been done. First time ever it's been won by the same player and then converted by the same player. There's some more stats for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
I
you go.
remember one where I think
You're
it was
welcome.
John Walter scored 2 own goals in one game.
That was
And
brilliant.
then it was...
Did he miss a penalty as well?
No, he didn't miss a penalty. Chelsea won a penalty or something and they wanted Jonathan Walters to take it. Get his hat-trick.
To be honest, if I was Jonathan Walters, I'd just go, alright, sod it. I'm here now, I'm in it, I might as well just go for it. Right, I have made notes saying Brentford-Leicester. Goal 1 was Leicester's goal. I put Vardy's hard work made it, because he just ran his bollocks off, didn't he? And then he slid to get the ball as it was going out of play and knocked it across for an easy finish. Great play by Vardy. I mean, given his age,
Still
that
a
guy's
good
just
player.
superb. He's brilliant.
He's proven.
Goal
It's what we need, a proven striker.
Goal 2 was Brentford's, obviously, because they've got the next 4. Great football, typical FIFA goal. Because
Do you wish you bought Vardy them years ago when he was heavily linked?
Yes, because he's still
Do you think
better.
he'd still
He's
be
still better
playing?
than anything we've got
Do you
up
think
front.
he'd still be playing now for you?
Well, who'd be in front of him? Jesus, because he's shit. I would put you up front instead of Jesus. But more about that when we get on to Arsenal's game. Goal 3, obviously Leicester. Wisser, great play. I've put. Because Wisser had an amazing game. Considering he didn't score, which I kind of felt sorry for him, really, because he did come close. Jesus Christ, that guy had a game. And some of the through balls from Brentford were outstanding. Like, I mean, we're rolling back the years to Bergkamp and Scholesy. I mean, some of them through balls were phenomenal. like pinpoint accuracy through the eye of a needle. Brilliant play by
Well,
Brentford.
we've seen Brentford this
fully
season. They're
deserved-
superb. And I'm
great
guessing
football
they've all
team.
been their home games that I'm making.
I'm
note,
assuming you've not
obviously.
watched them away
Yeah.
because garbage away from home. The fourth goal, superb, decent finish, and the last goal I've got amazing through ball from Collins and Sharda, I think it is. Bagged his third goal of the game. Some good finishes by him, but that through ball, particularly at the end by Collins, was outstanding. It was pinpoint,
Yeah.
absolutely brilliant, and a joy to behold.
Yeah.
So yeah, Brentford, absolutely stunning at home, and basically play like Everton and Southampton away from home.
That must be coming to your game now then.
Well, we're on Wolves 2, Bournemouth 4. I mean, the first penalty that was given, have you seen it?
Yeah.
Right, that first pen was not a pen. Okay. 5 years ago, that's not a pen. 10 years ago, that's definitely not a pen. 15 years ago, that guy gets punched for going down. Now, 2024, Stonewall.
Yeah.
Softest penalty you're going to see.
No, I don't believe that.
The
There's
the
potential
actual...
for soft.
Well, potentially one of the other ones that we've spoken about, actually. Yeah, the one Forest and Ipswich that was given. Oh, just insane. The actual penalty itself was fucking cracking. Great finish. Was poor defending for second. Then we got another penalty and then another penalty. Just penalties galore, really, in the Wolves and Bournemouth game. Wolves were shocking. They were Wolves that started the season.
Yeah.
And Cunha wasn't even in the game. Now, you can tell when Cunha's in the game because that's when Wolves do well. They are a one-man team as well.
Absolutely.
Same as Arsenal and City. Now, when Cunha's not on form, Wolves just don't tick at all. Then, special mention, very quickly, special mention. Workington were at home to Macclesfield at the weekend. And Mac won the game by scoring a goal in the 91st minute through Luke Duffy.
Yes.
So congratulations, Mac. They've still only lost one game all season.
Which was in midweek.
Which was in midweek. They did get beaten, and they deserved to get beaten. Beaten by the better team. And it's the first time we've played a better team this season. They were very good,
Yeah.
and they did beat us. It's a bit of a shame, but yeah, come on, Mac. Still keeping it going. So we move on to the last game of the week. Without including today's
Saturday,
results,
yeah.
we're not going into Sunday's games just yet. But the last Saturday game was West Ham 2, Arsenal 5.
You were killing them.
Now,
You were killing them.
after 15 minutes, Timber took two of the worst foul throws you've ever seen in your goddamn life. Like, where he literally, you know when you throw the ball and you slam it into the floor and it bounces?
Yeah.
Two of them. Not given, just ignored.
Is
And
this,
even I'm looking at that going, I'd give that.
is this
if I
like
was the
some
ref.
of the people that try take throw-ins on Friday night?
You'd forgive 'em.
And I think to myself, do any of these actually play football and know how to take a throw-in?
I hope they're all listening to this now.
I know,
I'm
yeah.
going to link this episode into the group.
Name
Yeah.
and shame.
Yeah. Yeah, name and shame them.
Name
Yeah.
and shame them.
Yeah,
I
all
think
of
there's
them.
too many to even remember.
Wow. So that's basically all of you boys on a Friday night.
Basically,
Well
you
done.
can't throw for shit.
So Timber, two horrific throw-ins in the first 15, and on 15 minutes as well, one after the other. Horrendous throw-ins. Now, West Ham, I genuinely thought they put 8 players on the pitch for the first half. They were that bad. Well, for the first 40 minutes. I thought they'd only got 8 players on. Arsenal battered them from the second the game started until they got their first goal. Absolutely annihilated them. They had one decent chance, which was Somerville got played through, who was just offside, to be fair. Not a million miles offside, but enough to be obvious. Scored an absolutely fantastic goal, by the way. Scooped it over the top of Raya and virtually skimmed the underneath of the bar as it went. It was a brilliant finish, but unfortunately it was half a yard off.
Yeah.
Arsenal's penalty when Saka got injured. I don't know. I don't think it was a penalty. Very, very soft. It's another 2024 penalty. 2000, you'd get kicked in the face for falling over for it. I genuinely didn't think it would be given. I was quite surprised when it was.
Another VAR favouring Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, well, given how shit some of the penalties have been, I don't know if it's favouring Arsenal if the officials are genuinely incompetent at this point.
I would go with the latter.
I think they are just incompetent now. I don't think they know what they're doing. As for our second penalty, Gabriel got full on punched in the snout, and I would have to say that was definitely a penalty. It was a bit unlucky that the keeper came out a little bit too slow, but he did punch him straight in the face. So definite penalty. And Arsenal's other goals, to be fair, were pretty well worked and pretty good. And Trossard's pass to Havertz for Havertz's goal was incredible.
Why don't teams, like, whoever their biggest presence on the defensive side of things, so you're probably talking maybe West Ham moves, maybe to Bieber or something like that. Why is he not marking Gabriel?
I tell you who was marking Gabriel?
Antonio.
Well,
he wasn't.
He was before the corner was taken. But the second Gabriel started moving, Antonio sort of lost him that split second, but then just gave up. He's like, well, he's got a toenail head start on me now, so I'm just going to stop.
But it
was horrific.
But you've seen it enough this season that Gabriel is going to score from
I
the
wouldn't
corner.
even mark Gabriel. I'd wait where I know the ball is going. There's no point in following. You know he's not staying at the back post. Why mark him?
Yeah.
You know where the ball's going. It's going on the edge of the 6-yard box. You know that's where it's going. Everybody does. Why aren't you just putting your tallest player and your biggest player there?
Yeah, play the...
He might have the run on you.
Zonal marking rather than the man marking.
And that's the thing. But just for him. Let him have his run. Let him fucking run around and do what he wants. I know where the ball's going. I know exactly where it's going. Just stand there. You telling me Antonio just stood there jumping isn't going to cause enough of a problem? Because Gabriel didn't jump to head of that ball. He stooped to head of that ball in.
That's because nobody was there.
That's my point. If Antonio was just stood there, that's not a goal.
I can't remember what player it was, but he did enough for the man in the front post to move him out the way.
But had Antonio just been stood behind him, no goal.
Gabriel's telling them to do on the back post, instructing couple players what to do.
Yeah.
This is what you need to do.
There, you go over there. Just ignore Gabriel because you know he's running. Just stand where he's going to be. You prevent that goal going in. It's not rocket science for me. Although Arsenal did play very well. And like I say, the through ball from Trossard for Havertz's goal was fucking outstanding. It was
To be fair, when you're beating West Ham 5-2 and you've played an hour and there's half an hour to go, it's a perfect time to bring your mates on.
Right, I did want to talk about this. So we get to about 60 minutes and Arteta and friends goes into full overdrive. So we bring off Odegaard and Saka.
Yeah, I know.
The two best players we've got.
I know.
And we bring on Sterling, Jesus, and then we bring off Calafiori and we put Zinchenko on. Which, by the way, the first two things Zinchenko did was one is miscontrol it, and the second one he gave it away. Right, the second his three friends came on, game finished.
Yeah.
Because West Ham have got nothing in them, and Arsenal have got nothing with them three on because they're fucking useless.
So Nwaneri's obviously on his high from his goal from a week before.
Yeah, it'd been
expecting minutes.
It would have been a great chance to put him on.
Tell me how many minutes he got.
I believe it was 6 or 7. Might have been 7.
Yeah, not enough for you.
That would have been perfect to just go. You
hour.
You have the second half, mate. We're 5-2 up. I'll bring Odegaard off to protect him.
Yeah.
I'd have accepted that. We're bringing Odegaard off. We're 5-2 up. The defence is staying the same, so stay strong. But we're putting Nwaneri on to fill Odegaard's boots for half a game while we've got a 3-goal cushion.
Yeah.
I guarantee we'd have scored another goal because Nwaneri wants to prove a point.
I was wondering, sort of like, because I didn't watch the game. I won't lie, I've had a week where, you just have that mental blowout and you just sit there looking at the ceiling like a vegetable.
I'll convert that to the people that don't understand tin ribs. I was being fucking lazy.
But I did notice how it's like, it's 5-2 at half time. And then 45 minutes of absolute.
Do you want me to read something? Do you want me to read something to you?
Yes.
and this is quite genuine. Darryl knows this is coming now. I've put we've just had 2 penalties in one half of football. 5-2 at half time. He's put I might put on the second half then. Probably be no goals though now because I'm fucking watching it. At least the fans are getting their money's worth. Got to the end of the game. I knew there'd be no goals if I watched it. He wasn't happy at all. But he knew, to be fair to him, he did call it.
Oh.
He says I'll watch it.
7 goals in the first half. Oh, it's got
I'll start watching it, but I guarantee there'll be no goals in the second half. So he watched it, no goals.
Yeah.
But then again, Arteta and friends took over.
But
There's
you
not
pretty
going to
much
be any
did that last
goals
season against
'cause they're all shite.
West Ham, didn't you? You killed them and then laid off. I mean, me as a Southampton fan, when you go 4-0 up or whatever it was and you've only played half an hour or so, I'm looking at it thinking, just score 10. Beat them 10-0.
Yeah, it's never going to happen with Arteta in charge because he brings his friends on and it just stops the game stone dead.
It's like, why can't teams do Southampton a favour? We've let teams score 9 against us twice.
I'm considering calling the episode this week Arteta and friends. Anyway, we've run over a little bit, so we're gonna go to our first break, and we shall see you lovely people very shortly. Hello and welcome back from the break to part 2. So, part 2 is going to start the same way part 2 always starts these days, with our little game, Who Am I? Where I read out clues to a professional footballer or ex-professional footballer, and you two have to guess who it is. There's 3 parts, 3 different levels of clues. Part 1 you get 5 points, part 2 you get 3 points, part 3 you get 1 point. If you don't get it at all, you don't deserve any points. So, let's get into week 15, player 1, part 1. I was born on the 28th of January 1978, making me 46 years old in, probably going to butcher this, Carrara, Italy. I am current Italy team coordinator. I started and ended my career at Parma, having played 211 games for them. Who am I? So while they're having a think for you guys at home, I was born on the 28th of January 1978, making me 46 years old. I was born in Carrara, Italy. I am current Italy team coordinator. I started and ended my career at Parma, having played 211 games for them. Who am I? I have a guess off a Jim Jam. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I have a guess off both of them. So we go to part 2. I have played for Italy at internationals under 16, 17, 18, 21, 23. I have 176 senior appearances. I'm 6'4". I've also played for Juventus and Paris Saint-Germain. I have 11 league titles, not all with the same team. I am a World Cup winner in 2006, a Euro runner-up in 2012, and I have over 50 individual honours. Who am I? So for the guys at home, I've played international football for Italy at under 16, 17, 18, 21 and 23 level. I have 176 senior appearances. I am 6'4". I've also played for Juventus and Paris Saint-Germain. I have 11 league titles, although not all for the same team. I am a World Cup winner in 2006, a Euro runner-up in 2012, and I have over 50 individual honours. Who am I? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Answers on a postcard. I assume you're keeping your same answer.
Yes.
You're keeping your same answer. This could be interesting, gentlemen. Part 3. This was meant to be the giveaway. I'm a goalkeeper. In 2001, I was bought for 52.9 million euros, making me the world's most expensive goalkeeper. I was named best goalkeeper of the 21st century. Who am I? Now, I'm not going to go and read that again because they both got it on the first go. And of course, the answer is Jim Jump.
Buffon.
Buffon. Wasn't expecting them both to get it in part 1. and get 5 points. So that's a little disappointing from my point of view.
Parma was quite a big giveaway.
Yeah, massive giveaway.
See, I thought you'd both have Juve in your heads for him not finishing at Parma, but there you go. Maybe
I knew he played for Parma originally, and I knew he finished there as well.
I know that now. Anyway, week 15, player 2, part 1. I was born on the 30th of June 1965, making me 59 years old, in Ramsgate, Kent. I am 6'4". I played youth football for Billingham Town. In 1984 to 1989, I played for Middlesbrough, making 156 appearances, scoring 5 goals. I only ever played for 2 teams, although I also made international appearances for England between 88 and 96, 22 to be exact. Who am I? So for the guys at home, I'll read them again while these two are having a bit of a think, because Tin Ribs looks as though I've just given him the world's hardest maths quiz. I was born on the 30th of June 1965, making me 59 years old. I was born in Ramsgate, Kent. I am 6'4". I played youth football for Billingham Town. 1984 to 1989, I played for Middlesbrough, making 156 appearances,
Usual ding.
scoring 5 goals. I only played for 2 teams. Although I did make international appearances between 1988 and 1996, I made 22 appearances. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Answers on a postcard. We have
I
nothing.
think I've spelt his name very wrong though.
And I do have an answer. So, part 2. Let me just turn the volume down because I've done it again. Let's face it, we all knew it was going to happen at some point. Part 2. Between 89 and 98, I played for Manchester United, making 317 appearances, scoring 12 goals. Between 98 and 2001, I played 55 times, scoring 1 goal, for Middlesbrough. I have 4 Premier Leagues, 3 FA Cups, 4 Charity Shields, 1 Cup Winners' Cup and 1 European Super Cup. Who am I? So for the guys at home, while they're having a think and writing it down, between 89 and 98, I played for Manchester United, making 317 appearances, scoring 12 goals. Between 98 and 01, I played for Middlesbrough, 55 games, 1 goal. I have 4 Premier Leagues, 3 FA Cups, 4 Charity Shields, 1 Cup Winners' Cup and 1 European Super Cup. Who am I? I have an answer off of you both. Part 3. Listen very carefully. I was known for having an incredible partnership with Steve Bruce. And I am a centre-back. They're the only 2 clues that you really needed for the last one, aren't they? Let's be honest. So I'm not going to read it again. I'm just going to count from 5 and expect an answer from both of them. And they both have 1 point. Because, Tin Ribs, the answer, of course, was...
Gary Pallister.
Gary Pallister.
Gary Pallister.
And who was your guess before that?
Brian Robson for some
His
reason.
was Bruce.
Mine
so he
was
got quite
actually
close.
Bruce.
His first one was Mahan.
Yeah, it was. I don't think that's.
Did you mean
I was
Macmahon?
thinking, I'm not sure who I meant. It was something.
I mean, to be
along
fair,
the
at least you
lines.
wrote something, and I always say just write something. At least you wrote something,
I
even
could
though it
picture
might
a
not
player
actually
that
be a
played
footballer.
for Middlesbrough that begin with M and had them sort of letters in it.
Fair enough.
So I just put some letters together and made up a name.
I mean, I can't really sort of deny your enthusiasm. But at least you put a name, and I always say at least write something. So at least you wrote something.
I'm not going to
So
lie, I
we're
wasn't aware Pallister had moved to Middlesbrough.
We're currently on 6 points each,
No.
by the way, gentlemen. So
okay.
this is the potential clincher for this week. Are we ready?
We are ready.
I'm going to wait till he's put his phone down because I know his game. I know what he's all about. I cheater.
Yeah.
Week 15, player 3, part 1. I was born on the 10th of May 1974, making me 50 years old, in Neuilly-sur-Marne. Yeah, I probably butchered that. I am 5'8". I've played for 8 clubs. From 91 to 96, I was at Rennes in France, playing 91 games, scoring 28 goals. 96 to 97, I was at Deportivo La Coruña, making no appearances, scoring no goals. 97 to 2000, I was at Bordeaux, making 99 appearances, scoring 46 goals. Who am I? Now this one, for the guys at home while they're having a think, I intentionally chose this player because they're not likely to think of it, and it was meant to be difficult. I have one answer. I'm going to quickly just run through it again. Does that say something? I know I said right something, but that's a bit ridiculous. I was born on the 10th of May 1974, making me 50. I was born in Neuilly-sur-Marne in France. I'm 5'8". I've played for 8 clubs. 91 to 96, I was at Rennes. 91 games, 28 goals. 96 to 97, Deportivo La Coruña. Did not play, did not score. 97 to 2000, I was at Bordeaux, making 99 appearances, scoring 46 goals. Who am I? I have one answer, and I have something over in the corner.
To be fair, I guessed it was France because he never said France.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
I didn't. I only added it the second time because you'd guessed it anyway. Part 2.
Now you know I've put a French player down.
No, I can see you've written France there.
Well, I know, but he didn't know I'd wrote France there.
To be fair, you haven't always written a player from the country you've said it's from. So it doesn't
Not
really
always.
give away that you've written a French player down. Part 2. 2000 to 2004, I was at Arsenal, making 106 appearances, scoring 31 goals. 04 to 07, I was at Lyon, 82 games, 20 goals. 07 to 2012, I played for Rennes, Marseille, Metz, Nantes. I played for France international team, making 92 appearances, scoring 26 goals. Who am I? I will run through that again for those at home. 2000 to 04, I was at Arsenal, making 106 appearances, 31 goals. 04 to 07, I was at Lyon, 82 games, 20 goals. 07 to 12, I played for Rennes, Marseille, Metz, Nantes. I played for France 92 times, scoring 26 goals. I have an answer off both of them.
Oh my God.
So we shall move on to part 3. I scored a very famous winner versus Man United to clinch the title at Old Trafford for Arsenal. I have 2 Premier Leagues, 1 Charity Shield, and I have 3 La Ligas. Who am I? So, for those at home, while they're on a think, I scored a very famous winner against Man United to clinch the title for Arsenal at Old Trafford. I have 2 Premier Leagues, 1 Charity Shield, and 3 La Liga titles. Who am I? Do you have an answer for part 3?
I'm sticking with the same.
Sticking with part 2. And you've changed, right?
Well, I don't want.
We are
the original.
dead even this week, gentlemen, because you both got it right in part 2. So I am, of course, talking about Jim Jam.
Wiltord.
Sylvain Wiltord. The famous winner I'm on about is when we clinched the title at Old Trafford for the unbeatables year, the Invincibles season.
Yeah.
And Sylvain Wiltord slid on his knees with his arm up, and Carnu jumped over his head and come back.
Right. No,
So-
I wouldn't have known that. I only wrote Henri down because I thought, but I knew it wasn't.
So, you each have 9 points this week, gents. You've both done pretty damn well.
I nearly scrubbed off Wiltord, you know. I scribbled him off.
It doesn't matter because you've got it anyway.
No.
Because I'd already got it in my head.
No, I scribbled him off.
Oh, before I saw it?
Before you saw it, I scribbled him off. I was going to write Perez, and then I went, don't do it. Stick with your initial. Because I thought the 92 appearances for France seemed too high for him.
Yeah.
Right.
So I actually have. So we're on quizzes. I've got one for Stretch. Since he knows his history about Arsenal so good about
Right.
the exact moment Wiltord scored.
Just give me 2 seconds.
I'll go and ask
Your current scores are Jim Jam has broken the 100 barrier. You're on 102.
Woohoo.
In week 14.
Yeah.
Pretty good going, I suppose. And Tin Ribs, you're on 96, so you are still only 6 points behind. Going well. Going very well.
Well, you caught
right,
some
Tin
points
Ribs.
last week when
I'm
I
catching
didn't
up a
go
little
with
bit.
Totti,
Yeah.
even though I knew it was him.
So, if Jim Jam gets this, I'll be more impressed. But
Tin Ribs has a question for me, apparently.
Stretch, what is in English football St Totteringham's Day?
I know what it is.
Straight in there.
I know what it is.
You should know this because if you don't,
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what you verbalise.
what is St Totteringham's Day?
It's the day from 2016. That's when it started.
No,
No, it means something.
it's a footballing term. And as an Arsenal fan, you should know.
So is that up to me? So St Tottenham's Day is the point where Tottenham can no longer beat Arsenal in the league table.
Correct. It's the day that mathematically Tottenham cannot get higher than Arsenal.
Yeah.
That's insane that they've come up with a specific name for that.
It's insane that you're
I don't know
so-called
how you
Arsenal
don't know
fan.
that.
Yeah, did you?
How do I know that? You don't.
Yeah, that's because I've never really paid any attention to
Wow.
what Tottenham can and can't do because they're not good enough to be above us anyway.
They have been though.
Yeah.
What a bellend.
But
was only when we were
St
really
Tottenham's Day. Yeah, I've heard of that one before.
Yeah.
I'm
I've-
even more
I've
pleased
obviously-
that you didn't know it.
I've heard St Tottenham's Day, but I've never really sort of
Understood the meaning
Hey.
of it.
any form of attention to it whatsoever because I've just never really cared. And to be fair, still don't. Because I'm not bothered about Tottenham. Right. Is there anything else you would like to talk about from this week? Maybe go into European?
Yeah, European, because I watched...
Well, we've got some more stats then for European.
Okay.
This is the first time in history anyone in that particular European competition has been 3-0 up with 75 minutes and then drawn.
Go on
It
then,
is
we'll
the
go
first-
with that game, man.
It is the first time in history anyone has been 3-0 up, 75 minutes, and then not won the game.
Is it also the first time in history a manager's self-harmed that badly?
That, I'm not sure whether I'm pleased about that or whether I'm actually a bit concerned about his fucking mental health. I genuinely, after today, I don't think it'll be long before Pep steps down, and I'll tell you for why. He is not used to losing 6 games on the trot.
No,
And he is
drew.
not used to his...
Not winning in 6 games. No, he hasn't lost 6 games on the trot. Although, technically, you would call
You would
a draw is a loss.
Especially from 75 minutes 3-0 up.
Yeah.
You would feel that that's a loss, wouldn't you? But I can see him stepping down.
I thought it was
really
funny.
can.
I thought it was funny.
I don't like City. I don't particularly like Pep.
Really? I thought you would have said on the show before.
Yeah, you would have thought I'd have made it obvious, and I've tried to hide it really well. But I'm not a big fan of City, or what they're about, or what Pep's about. But I can't take joy in him clawing at himself. I just think that's weird.
Yeah.
I think there's something not right
No.
there.
It's not right. But something's gone wrong somewhere.
Yeah, he's not winning, and he's not being given hundreds and hundreds of millions of pounds to sort it out immediately. Which
I mean,
is
we
what
will
he's used
say
to.
that it is not 6, because we will
No,
say they
it's
have
not 6,
lost
'cause
today, which
they-
means they are now 7.
I believe they've lost 6 out of 7 or 5 out of 6 or something. I
6
think
out of 7 with
they've
1
lost,
draw.
They've lost 6 out of 7, with the last one being a draw in Europe, which would have felt like a loss. And the amount of people ringing up TalkSport saying Pep needs to go.
Here we go. Pep said that he likes the way that Southampton play. That was his last win.
That's
He's
why he
took
likes the way Southampton
He's
play.
literally took that far too seriously.
Wow. I like the way Saints play, and then you lose 6 out of 7 games. That's pretty.
That is
damning, isn't
proper
it?
saintly.
I can see him. I can see him walking out. I really can. I really can.
We'll see.
I mean,
He's not used to this.
all I'm
and
going
the
to say
players
is
are clearly
maybe he
not
should try
listening to
biting
him.
his nails rather than scratching himself.
I don't think clawing at yourself is a good way to go about anything.
So I'd say
To be perfectly
Villa
honest.
got a good result against Juve. I'd tell 0-0 against Juve is quite
I'd
a
have taken
good
that.
result
Yeah.
for them, and they're maintaining.
On that,
Yeah.
was it a foul?
I haven't seen.
I
this.
haven't seen.
I haven't
I've
seen
only
this, so
seen
I
the
can't.
result, so you'll have to tell us about it.
I've only
Okay.
seen numbers.
So it's one of these is the keeper overprotected moments.
100%.
Martinez has made a complete hash of it, and there's a little bit of contact, but he's basically just fucked it all up, and they bundled it in. The refs obviously pulled it back. It's been given as a foul to Martinez. It's soft.
Is it overprotection of the keepers?
Massively.
And that's coming from a keeper.
Massively overprotected.
I honestly believe
I
that
honestly
that
believe-
goal should probably stand then. If he's saying it.
It's Yeah.
Is it a goal? For
It's
you?
a foul. It's foul. It's not a foul on the keeper. No,
So it's a clear goal.
To be fair,
No problem.
he's right, because he even backed the Adam Armstrong one being a penalty as well, because he didn't back the keeper in that instant either. So,
Oh no, that's worse. Keller completely gets that wrong, and the argument of they're both the initial fouls because Armstrong's pulling on his shirt is bollocks, because they've both got a handful of each other's shirts. He's wrestling two players off. Keller has completely fucked that up.
He went bowling, didn't he? Just got a strike.
Yeah.
He went in and took all of them out.
but that was last week's.
No, but what I mean
Issue,
is,
but
I'm more than
just
happy to
keeper
call
one.
keepers out when they
Yeah,
fuck
yeah.
things up. And
But no, so 0-0. Good result for them, I'd say. Liverpool obviously got a good result beating Real Madrid, sorry.
However you want to pronounce
However I want to pronounce it. I'll
People-
say
Oh,
shit,
Real Madrid.
Mbappe. Sorry.
it. Have you seen the video where Mbappe's trying to shake the hands of his teammates and talk to his teammates in the tunnel? They're all
He's
ignoring
a toxic
him.
prick.
I'm like,
He had
well,
it at-
that's what you get when you're a childish fucking baby.
But he had it at look at his behaviour when
he was-
Messi and Neymar were taking the piss out of him.
He's
and stuff.
just been
He's just a petulant
shown
little child.
that he is overrated.
He is. I've been saying this for
I mean,
years.
He
Well,
said it for a lot
I've
longer.
been saying it
We
for
look back,
years.
right? I look back with Zach today, because obviously I've had Zach this week, and we were looking at the episodes that we'd done,
Yeah,
because we were looking at how far we'd come, because he was in here sorting out the
Yeah.
setup with me earlier,
yeah.
so we'd seen all the equipment that we're using now, and we went back to episode 1, and we were talking about Mbappe,
Yeah.
and he said, he's a bit overrated, and I said, we've actually got an episode that we call the most overrated piece of shit in history, and it was about a comment you'd made
Yep.
about Mbappe, and
Yeah.
Zach went, I remember that, it was 20 something. So we had a look back and had a look back. I think it's number 8 if you have a look at it. It was literally that early, because it was just after we'd been to Macclesfield, because I think you said it while you got your foot in traction,
Yeah.
or you sat at the end of the
I
hotel
think
bed.
he did. That was, yeah, I remember
So
that.
I think that was the actual episode that you said it.
that
and
was very early.
yeah, because we'd only been doing the podcast, I think, 6 weeks
Yeah.
before
Yeah,
we went and
yeah.
played the game.
I've thought he's overrated for years.
Yeah.
So
He's
it's-
just been more proven because he's in a...
Now that he's in a tougher league, surrounded
Yeah.
by better players, it's starting to show that he's just not actually that good.
Yeah, episode number 6, the most overrated piece of shit in history.
But-
Episode number 6.
But
So that was over a year ago.
it's another good result for Liverpool.
Yeah, which
Oh,
is a
it's
shame,
fantastic.
really, because I don't really like Liverpool.
It's a fantastic
But
result.
they're
for
the
Liverpool.
only team that's 100% record. They're going to be able to rest players at this rate because they're going to secure that top 8 finish. Now, if you guarantee
Like that,
top
I'll put
8,
that up.
I don't think... Do you think winning the league matters?
If what, sorry?
Winning the Champions League group matters?
I don't
or
think,
just
I don't think
coming
it makes
8?
a fucking
I
difference.
don't think it makes
the top 8 get
difference.
exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
You
No.
don't get a trophy for winning it.
No,
You
so
just get put through. The
so
same
for
as
me-
the guy in 8th.
them doing the way they're doing, at some point they're just going to be able to play the kids in Europe
Right?
and rest players.
Why not?
Not good for
I
But
would, personally,
not
because it
good
doesn't
for
matter.
you wanting them to falter in the Premier League, because for a couple of weeks they can turn their focus on the league and ignore Europe.
Yeah, but
till
if you're one of
it
those teams
starts again.
that's got Liverpool at the back end, they'll be looking at it going, "Oh, we got some easy points here."
Maybe.
If they start resting players and playing a weakened side, that will affect the league, so they might actually get punished for it.
And that brings us on to the last English
You can't
team.
get punished for playing your kids in Europe.
Arsenal.
They can see it, they can. Didn't they do a whole thing like that?
Yeah, but I'd be like, as a manager, I'd be like, are they registered?
Yeah,
Yeah.
as long as they're named in their team, you
Are
should
they
be able to play
registered?
what you want.
Well, yeah, they're registered. Well, I've registered them for a reason. It's because I was going to play them.
Yeah,
And this is the game I was going to play them in.
yeah.
I'm sorry, but tough.
Mm.
So
Wouldn't
Arsenal,
bother.
first
Arsenal.
time in the Champions League this season, first time they were decent, I'd say more ruthless, and they actually gave it a good go to score some goals and actually play properly.
And they did play really well, to be fair.
They did. Sporting did come back in the second half a little bit stronger for
They did.
5 minutes
I mean,
or
they had
so,
to.
and you thought,
They
oh,
had no choice.
can
had
they
to.
come back? And then Arsenal pretty much just saw the
Um,
game off.
Sporting have got a bloody good home record as well, you know.
Yeah.
They've rarely get beaten at home, and that's the first time they've conceded 5 at home for years.
Another-
Years and years.
Another one of them where The commentator said it, and you're watching the corner go in, and it's like Gabriel's just lined up across here. Nobody's picking him up, and he's just going to run into the box. And what happened? He scored over the keeper. Over the keeper, 6-yard box, bang, header, goal.
It's like everybody knows what Arsenal are going to do now. Everybody. But nobody's stopping them. I don't know if they just can't or what, but nobody's stopping them.
So you've got to be pleased to have scored some goals.
We're doing really well. We've scored 10 in 2 games.
Yeah.
So I'm happy, but we get to that point, and I'm like you. Let's get 7, let's get 8. Let's go for 10. Let's get the most goals. Oh, we're going to bring on Jesus, Zinchenko, Sterling. Well, now your fucking friends are on.
Yeah. But
it's like Rainbow. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
With Zippy and Bungle.
Yeah.
It's like bringing them on to fucking play when you're 5 up.
Look, it was nice to watch Arsenal and see them play well in the Champions League, because it's the first time I've seen it happen.
That was a very silent sneeze. Well done.
I know.
Cheers.
Well done. Bless you, by the way.
I feel like my eyeballs are about to pop out. But
I'm not surprised. I saw him sort of.
I'd sneeze out my mouth and nose, not my eyeballs.
I know, but he held his mouth and nose. They got nowhere to go. Wow. Well done, sir.
So you must have been pleased with that.
I was very happy with the 5-1 win, and I was also very happy with the 5-2 win. Albeit I don't think their free kick was a free kick. I think Rice got the ball. But once they've given the free kick they did score was incredible. It was so well hit. There was, 2 goalkeepers wouldn't have saved it. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. So fair play to him on the actual strike, but I don't believe it was a free kick. What we're going to do is during the next break, we're going to have a quick look at some of these highlights that we haven't seen.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back, we'll quickly run through it because...
See Celtic own goal.
No. Oh,
you have.
Oh my God.
Right, we're definitely going to have a look at that during the break. What are we on now?
Well, during the break, I've also got a challenge set for you. So I'm going to read it out first. But
right, what we're going to do is we're going to hear from Tim Ribs. Then as soon as he's finished, we'll go to break, and then we'll be back in part 3.
Right, so
take it away.
The challenge is, with football names, I'm going to use an example now. Arsenal, there's nothing after. However, other teams have something after.
City, town.
There are 19 variants. What are they?
Okay.
See how many you get.
Hello, and welcome back to part 3 of episode 58. Motoring through the weeks now, gentlemen. Motoring through.
Yeah.
Right, now, Jim Jam and I shall pass you your board, good sir, and I will get my book out. Jim Jam and I have been looking at this task that we were set by Daryl. And we would both like to say Daryl was wrong.
Yes.
Because we initially heard that there was 19 different... We'll go with team surnames, because it just makes it easier to describe. So we went with 19 team surnames, and we found 21.
Yeah.
Although there is an argument over Leyton Orient and Port Vale. No, not Port Vale. What was the
Crystal
other one?
Palace.
Crystal Palace and Leyton Orient, because it's the name of the place as well. However, as far as I'm concerned, it's still the surname of the team.
Yeah.
So it still counts. So we managed to get 21. Jim, do you want to run through the first few?
Yeah. Town, City, Villa, Vale, Orient, Albion, Athletic, Rovers, United, Rangers, Palace, County, Hotspur, Wanderers, Wednesday, Dons, Alexandra, Forest, Argyle, North End, and Stanley was our last one.
Yeah, we actually needed help on Stanley.
We got a clue for that one.
Really, because of the advert years ago. When I go up, I'm going to be good enough to play for Accrington.
We got a couple of leagues that we needed to go to in the end. Because North End took us a while. We were going through all the teams in the Championship.
And then I started thinking about the map, and that's how I got it then.
Yeah.
Started thinking about the map of the UK.
Yeah. One of the oldest teams in the league as well. One of the founders.
Yeah. Just want to point out as well, in my moment of derpiness when I was talking about the Villa game, my brain completely glitched and I said Martinez. It's not Martinez, it's De Gregorio. They got brutally assaulted.
So Villa would be more disappointed that they didn't win the game, because when you
I
were
did
describing it,
Yeah, sorry.
I was thinking, oh,
That's because
so
I
they got
completely
saved a
redo
point
it.
then.
Yeah. No, it was but like I say, you saw how
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a foul on the keeper.
There's
It was
nothing in
not even close to being a foul on the keeper. And I've seen the Celtic own goal. And that, all I can say is, not a lack of communication, just none.
None.
None
there's
at all.
nothing there.
There was no communication whatsoever.
Well, it's like I said.
Kasper Schmeichel's trying to point,
And
but
get
there's obviously no verbal there.
yeah.
Or if
He
there is,
points
it's not
to
loud
let the
enough.
player know I'll be here.
Yeah.
Vickers has completely not paid any attention at all.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was what we would like to call a bad one.
So
A very bad own goal.
we can run through today's results. I've not watched any of the games. So we've got Chelsea 3, Villa 0. Now Martinez went off injured at half time as well.
Yeah.
So that could be
I hope that's not
a
a serious
big
injury.
Chelsea looking good at the moment. Man United 4, Everton 0.
I would like to say, because I watched a fair bit of that game, United looked pretty decent,
Yeah.
but Everton looked absolutely out of ideas. They honestly looked like they just didn't have a clue. They were lost at sea.
Yeah.
It was awful for Everton, that was.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's not really much you can say for
No.
Everton. They
Just poor.
it wouldn't shock me if they went down.
Yeah.
That's how bad they were.
Yeah. So then we've got Spurs drew 1-1 with 10-man Fulham.
That red card was looked at. Have you seen it?
No.
I just said that. Not seen any of it.
Okay. I have watched the Tottenham Fulham game. I watched it earlier with Zach. So I watched the whole game. And Fulham were by far and away the better team. Tottenham, given the fact that they just spanked City, you'd expect them to be on high and playing really well. As much as they took the lead, it was massively against the run of play. Hugely so. But it was a decent goal.
Just a question though. How did you watch the Man United game and the Tottenham game at the same time?
Well, I watched the latter stages of the United game.
Right.
I got one
I just thought the kick-off was the same
You mean
time.
you didn't have one on your phone and one
I
on
got
your
one
TV?
on my phone and one on the TV. basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking, how were you watching two at the same time?
That's how I've done it many times.
We were watching.
I know I've done that to myself.
I didn't want to sound like that much of a twat, but I forgot that they kicked off at the same time. Yeah, the United game was on my phone on silent, so I was just watching it, and then obviously my son's Tottenham, so we were watching the Tottenham game properly. The red card was initially given as a yellow.
Yeah.
And then they went. VAR looked at it and then sent the ref to the screen.
Yeah.
Red card was 100% the correct decision.
Okay.
How he gave a yellow card in the first place, I'll never know.
Well,
He
I'm
went
just trying to
basically-
keep up with the.
Just below the knee, on the back of his
Yeah.
calf, and dragged it down to a point where his ankle had bent underneath his leg.
Hmm.
It was horrendous. And even straight away, I was like, red card.
Yeah.
I was shocked to give a yellow.
Well, Russell Martin said it in his interview after the game, but he does not blame the refs on the field for any decision that's made because of the speed that
It's
it's
lightning
going at.
quick now.
And he's saying that the decisions when it comes to VAR are there to make the correct decisions, which sometimes they are, sometimes they're not.
Yeah.
So you can excuse on-field decisions, especially now where they've got the backup.
I don't mind it when
So-
they get it right like that.
Yeah.
I don't mind them taking it, because that wasn't even a long decision.
Yeah.
VAR looked at it maybe 2 or 3 times and just went, I think you need to double check this because it's quite bad.
Yeah.
Ref went over to the screen, watched it twice, come back, red card. Perfectly correct decision.
Yeah.
And it literally took maybe a minute and a half. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just
fine.
watching the highlights.
That for me is what VAR should be. Of the Tottenham game.
Yeah. I'm normally not Fraser Forster's biggest complimenter, but Jesus Christ, those
Some
first two
cracking
saves.
Mate, wait for the second half.
The one-on-one with the Jimenez is unreal.
Wait for the second half. He made some unbelievable
He's a
saves.
great keeper. We
He
kept
was
the wrong
brilliant.
keeper.
I mean, honestly, I think you
We
might
had a
well
choice
have done.
between McCarthy and Forster, and for me, I'd have gone all out for Forster, but we
Well-
went all out for McCarthy.
We have one game left to talk about.
Liverpool 2,
I'm just
Manchester
watching the VAR now.
losing City 0.
If we look at the stats, I know stats don't say everything. I'm a big believer in stats are very deceiving.
Yeah.
Virtually the same sort of possession. 44
Yep.
Liverpool, 56 City. Not a lot in that. Shots total. 8 for Manchester City.
Says 7 here.
18
Oh, yeah.
for Liverpool.
Yeah. I'm at that point. Yeah.
So 8 total shots for City and 18 for Liverpool.
I think the big one is where it says 5 big chances and 1 big chance for City. So that says that really City only had 1 chance to score in that game.
Yeah, pretty
Really.
much. They got 2 shots on target. Liverpool got 7. I said City were a one-man team with Rodri. I didn't realise just how big a change he was going to make. I don't know, because we've said it before on this podcast and we will continue to say it, no doubt. Pep is not a man manager. He's not a manager for me. He's not. Because he's clearly losing the plot now.
He's lost the dressing room by the look of it.
Why would you come on TV with scratches all over yourself? And didn't he announce that he'd done it himself or something? I didn't watch the interview, but didn't he announce it himself that he'd done it?
I don't know.
Oh, when I'm losing and I get stressed sometimes.
You see him at the sideline just scratching away.
Yeah, he's always like this, and he's scratching at himself, and then he got cuts all over his face. That guy needs help. I think we make a big thing out of men's mental health, right?
Yeah.
And I'm a big advocate for helping guys that are struggling.
Hang on.
That guy's struggling on national TV.
Hang on. You say we make a big thing of it. We don't. They like to spiel that they're making a big thing of it. They don't. No
bullshit.
one gives a shit.
They don't, because he'd be getting help if they did. Look at the guy.
We're too
You're
busy.
telling me he's not struggling? He's hurting himself.
Yeah, they do the whole championing. Oh, look at how good we are. Look at how we look after it. People don't.
No, don't
99% of the time when someone says, we care for your mental health, they don't.
But then the thing is when I say things like, Pep needs help, people just laugh at me. Or he's a multi-millionaire and they're only going through a bad patch. No, the guy needs help. He is struggling. No normal human being does that.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I've been annoyed and rubbed my hands on my face. Not with my nails.
Yeah.
With my hands. How many times has something happened you've gone, oh God, and you've put your hand over your eyes and just been like, oh my God, here we go again.
Yeah.
And you just rub your eyes and you're like, oh, come on, suck it up, let's keep going. You don't dig your nails into your head and your face and drag. The guy is crying out for intervention. And nobody cares. Nobody cares. And it's proof that nobody cares because they were making fucking light of it on Match of the Day. They're making fun of him. You see it?
Mm.
You go, and always come out and he's hurting himself and scratching him. And they're like giggling about it. Like the guy is clearly suffering with something. And he needs help. Help him.
Going on people needing help. I've just, literally, it's just come up. I couldn't find this when I wanted to bring it up. Remember I said about a bit delusional on the whole Blackburn? Apparently this is not a card.
All right, we're just seeing the clips from the Blackburn.
Apparently, according to Blackburn commentators, that's not even a foul.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's not a yellow card. They're right on that.
Well, that's the question.
It's basically
how is this not a red?
Who are they playing?
Is it?
Blackburn Leeds.
Oh, that was the Leeds
That's
game.
the one I was on about. When I
So
said they are
basically
fucking delusional.
The Blackburn
Is it
guy
because
has gone in
he's
and he's
lucky that he
flying in.
didn't hit the player
I don't know.
with
And he's
the
gone
foot?
studs first and caught him basically at knee level.
No, it looks like he missed. It looked
think
like
he's
he
caught
missed.
No, he catches his knee.
He's
Does he
definitely,
actually
he
catch
definitely
him?
caught him
I
there.
thought he just about missed his
Yeah,
leg.
you see his leg bend.
Yeah.
You see his leg bend. He's caught
It's a
him.
red card.
That's
then.
a red card.
Yeah, but apparently, according to Blackburn commentators,
Yeah, I mean, I don't,
that's not even a yellow card.
I don't
I
mind
just
that
assumed
kind of
perhaps he
commentating.
didn't hit him with his foot and he
No,
it was
he's
the
full
follow
on
through
caught
that
him.
took him out.
Bottom of the studs as well. That is. That's a horrendous tackle. But yeah, anyway, back onto the men's mental health thing because we are genuine advocates for men's mental health. If somebody's struggling, yes, we rip the shit out of each other 24/7. But if I genuinely thought Jim was struggling with something, I have done before. I've rung you.
Yeah.
And how are you, mate? And like, seriously, how are you? Or I've rung tin ribs and gone, how are you? And I mean, how are you? Not just small talk.
Yeah.
Or I've rung them and gone, I just need to fucking talk for 5 minutes. Are you available?
Yeah.
Like, because we do have our moments where someone will be bugging us, and I'm like, I'm just going to ring tin ribs and just vent for 5 minutes. And I've done that when you're on your way to work. I'll message him and go, are you available? Or I've done it to you and gone, are you available for 5 minutes? And if you are, I'll ring you and I'll just go, I just need to get this off my chest because it's doing me head in. Because there are things that get to us. Or if I know something's gone in your life, I'll ring you and I'll go, serious question, how are you doing?
Absolutely.
You know? Because men do need to talk to each other, and you do need that close friendship, and you do need somebody. Sometimes, like I say, sometimes I just ring you just because I want to vent about something. I don't even want an answer. I just want somebody to ring so I can shout at them and just go, this fucking pisses me off and I want to get it off my chest. So I'll talk and talk and talk and talk, and then I'll just go, I'm done now, cheers. I feel loads better, thanks for that.
Yeah.
And then you probably get off the phone thinking, well, now I feel like shit. You know what I mean? But you do need to talk. Genuinely, everybody needs to talk sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes people need to talk to each other. And if you can't talk to your mates, who the fuck can you talk to? And certainly in Pep's situation, because I genuinely, wholeheartedly think there's something wrong with him. And he needs somebody to intervene and go, you need serious help, like, at this point.
Yeah.
And you need somebody to just sit you down and go, right, let's deal with whatever it is. Let's get you feeling better. And let's deal with it. Because that's self-harm.
Yeah.
I don't care what you want to say about it. That's self-harm. And for me,
I think
self-harm is quite a serious thing.
I think there's enough team out there at all the teams that the manager could probably go and take a break, because for whatever the Bristol Rovers manager's going through, I'm not sure what it was, he's took a step aside this week.
Sometimes you need to, don't you?
I didn't see a lot into it or look into it. I just saw that he'd taken some compassionate leave for a couple of weeks.
When you said Bristol, I thought you meant the Bristol City, who came back against us.
No, it was Bristol Rovers.
Oh, I don't know. I'll look into that.
No, it was Bristol Rovers managers stepped aside.
I heard something about that, but not details. Just that he stepped back, basically, on TalkSport.
Yeah.
But again, TalkSport talk about men's mental health a lot, and I don't think that guys talk enough, because we do want to play the big one and I'm fine, everything's all right. And there's certain situations where I will be like that, but you two, Spenner in particular, there's people that I'll ring and talk to when I need to.
I mean, you might not agree with one, but within like the first 2 episodes of I'm a Celebrity, which I do enjoy, Danny Jones comes out and he was speaking about his mental health issues going on, and he's just done it in front of millions of people on TV,
I think
and how his breakdown was in the middle of a TV interview on This Morning or something. He said that
shocking,
he just broke down while he was speaking on national TV, like Pep just had. He's just had his breakdown on national TV.
Yeah, the difference is people are laughing at Pep.
Yeah,
They think they like all these people that are tweeting and you're on Facebook and hashtag be kind and hashtag mental health day and hashtag this and hashtag that. None of you give a shit. None of you care.
Hashtag flag waving.
That's all it is.
So,
it's box checking.
Yeah.
It's if
Matt Taylor is
if
off.
I have
Ongoing family emergency.
yeah. So we don't know.
Yeah, but that could be,
And you know
that
what?
could be like Steve Bruce's family emergencies.
no.
Do you know what I mean? Which was horrific.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's.
I mean, hopefully it's not anything that
it's not.
serious, like. But
See, I actually give a
there's-
shit. I hope nothing. It's like even like the worst players in the world, the people you hate. Nobody wants anything like that.
No. I want them to lose football matches. That's as bad as it gets.
You don't want more Gary Speed issues.
No. No, you don't want any of that shit.
You don't want to be hearing that. On
I mean, I'm not
tomorrow.
saying Pep's on the brink of that, but that is self-harm.
No, he's
whatever way you want to dress that shit up and laugh about it on Match of the Day, that's self-harm. That if you pass somebody in the street and they're taking a blade to their wrist, you'd question it.
The only person that should be taking the mickey out of that situation is himself in time after he's reflected and gone, you know what,
That was.
I've had a
daft,
moment
wasn't it?
there. It was
Oh,
a bit
that
daft.
was fucking
then.
daft. That was.
And then, you know, it's
I should have gone and
acceptable.
talked to somebody, but I didn't. And then, you know, the result is.
But you have to wait for him to open up about that moment.
Yeah, I just think he needs a bit of support, and you know, for the City fans just to be ringing TalkSport going, "Oh, I think Pep's done now. He's run his race. I think he needs to go." Be that as it may, we need a little bit of fucking humanity in the world, I think, and we haven't got enough of it. I realise this has gone a bit international break and we've gone off the football a bit, but I do think it's important. I genuinely, wholeheartedly think mental health is an important thing.
Yeah.
And there are certain times where I think people take it too far, take the piss out of it, and they end up trying to become financially better off because of it when there's no reason to, and all the rest of it. And we all know people like
There's
that.
genuine people that are, and there's people that are milking
Pep.
the system. Yeah.
Like, you look at Pep, he's not trying to get anything out of that.
It's ones
He's
that are
just
quiet.
suffering with something, and then he's come on telly, made an off-the-cuff remark about it, and the bit that really pissed me off was Match of the Day were laughing about it. And I'm like, you can't advocate Men's Mental Health Day now, because you've just pissed all over it straight away.
The ones that don't talk about it are the ones that have got the real issues going on. The ones that throw it out there after every bad decision and mention it 18 times a day, they're not. I'm
starting to feel real uncomfortable with the whole Pep thing. And I know when we were talking about City and losing, I said, I think he's going to throw the towel in. I genuinely do think he's going to throw the towel in. Partly because he's not used to losing 6 in a row, or, you know, almost 6 in a row, or whatever it is. But partly because I think he's fucking really struggling.
Yeah.
And apologies if you have just listened in and tuned in because you want to listen to our bullshit opinions about football. But there are certain things that I genuinely think need touching on.
Yeah.
In a serious way and in a serious light. And this is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
Because the guy's cutting his head and his face on national TV, and I haven't heard anybody say he's suffering, he's struggling, he needs help, he needs to talk to someone. Nothing. There's nothing. They're literally laughing about it, and I'm really annoyed about it. I'm really annoyed that they're laughing about it.
Let's
because
hope we're wrong and somebody within the club actually has.
You can only hope, but clearly they're not, because it's already got to that point.
Because I'm pretty sure they've got multiple liaison officers, diversity champions, mental health.
They've all got psychiatrists and
coaches
psychologists in there
available on there, and
All
they
of them.
should know.
Certainly the Premier League teams have.
Absolutely.
They've got all sorts
They
in there
should
now.
know.
Somebody needs to be sitting him down going, you need to take 5. You need to take 5 right now and just take a step back.
Let's hope it's happened. Let's hope actually after that game somebody at the club
It's a
has
shame it
seen
had to get that far.
and seen your viewpoint, and
It is a shame it had to get that far, but I mean, I want to be sat here just taking the piss out of people. Like the Celtic own goal. That's funny as fuck. Absolutely ridiculous.
the Wankdorf Stadium.
The Wankdorf Stadium. Jesus. Honestly, I'm really gutted that last week it got that shitty echo and it was unlistenable, because there was some really funny stuff towards the end of it, which
Beating
I'm
young
hoping
boys
we
in the
can sort of
Wankdorf
recreate when Vinny comes back on.
Yeah.
Vinny's going to come back on and give us his opinion again, and we're going to interview him again, because I feel a bit bad. He works at my daughter's school, and I've been asking him for ages to come on, because he... one thing we didn't talk about, actually, we will have a talk about it. He travels a lot to watch the Villa, because he's an Aston Villa fan. And he even travels to Germany for their pre-season friendlies and stuff. And I'm really interested in his take on it, because it's obviously the way they do things in Germany is very, very different to the way we do things over here. And I think it
But that's
could
probably
do
going to be
being
next
looked at.
week, hopefully.
But we will go into it
We'll
next
try
week. No, he is
actually-
joining us
I
next
know,
week.
so we'll
but
try
I'm going to
actually
make notes on
remember.
what to ask him.
Yeah.
And I think what I'm going to do is I'm completely going to black off part 3.
Yeah.
Block it off, sorry. I'm going to block off part 3, and it's just going to be talking about his experiences on when he's travelling and certain one bits and another I want him to talk about. So we will go into that next week. So we do genuinely, sincerely apologise for last week. There was nothing we could do about it. The bit of equipment that we'd bought initially wasn't great, and for whatever reason, it died on us last week. caused a major issue. So we've been out and replaced it, and hopefully now it's going to be a lot better for everybody involved and everybody concerned. We have tested it, and according to Tin Ribs, it sounds pretty good. So we shall see.
So we talked in part 1, I think, about how close the championship table was at the top, or was going to mention how close it was at the top.
I think.
Yeah, I did. Because we talked about it. That I couldn't remember if it was a thought in my head or.
I'm ashamed to admit at this point I'm going to have to check because I don't know. I feel a bit bad about that as well.
So the Premier League table, obviously Liverpool with their victory today, they're 9 points clear going in, so they're going to be top of the league, I imagine.
Who
going
were 9
into
points clear?
Christmas. Liverpool.
I thought we were. You just mentioned the championship.
No, because we've already talked about it.
I've got the championship table up to keep up.
Good for you. We've already been there. You needed that in part 2. No.
Right, let's go back to Premier League then.
Premier League. So we've got Liverpool 9 points clear with theirs. Arsenal in second on 25.
With
Chelsea,
the exact same record as Chelsea.
Yeah, exact same.
The exact same record. And to the point where we've both won 7, drawn 4, lost 2, scored 26, conceded 14. Both teams. I'm fairly certain we're only above them on alphabetical order.
I think it is alphabetical.
Have we actually played Chelsea this season?
Wasn't it a draw? Didn't you draw 2-2?
No, it was 1-1.
1-1.
So it's literally, it must be alphabetical order because it can't even be done on the actual game.
That's amazing, isn't
Unless
it?
they've given it us because we drew, but we were away, so maybe we get the extra because of that. But either way, exact same record.
Then Brighton, 23 points. Manchester City, 23 points.
Brighton are going
Nottingham
guns,
Forest, 22 points. Tottenham, 20. Brentford, 20. Man United, 19. Fulham, 19. Newcastle 19, Villa 19, Bournemouth 18, and I think that ultimately makes up the top mid half of the team.
For me, them teams are safe.
Yeah.
Now the ones fighting relegation, for me, West Ham just about. They need a couple more because they're not doing well.
No,
and after conceding 5 against us, as lacklustre as they did, for me they're going to be in the fight if they don't book their ideas up.
Yeah.
So for me, the relegation is between West Ham on 15. Everton on 11, having lost 6 out of 13 games. Leicester, 10 points, lost 7 out of 13 games.
Yeah.
Palace on 9, they've lost less, they've lost 6, but they've only won 1 and drawn 6. That's a horrific record, by the way. Wolves won 2, lost 8 on 9 points. Ipswich won 1, lost 6. And Southampton on 5 points at the bottom. I mean, it's bleak. Normally, I would sit here and make jokes about it, but genuinely, I feel quite bad for you at the minute.
Yeah,
honestly, hand on heart, I feel quite bad for you because I want to sit here and take the piss out of both of you, but that's hard reading even for me. And I don't really
though,
care.
By the way that games have gone, we should be on about 13 points now.
I mean, you were fucking unlucky to lose against us.
And I don't even count that one in the points.
You were really unlucky to lose against us.
I look at it and go, we should have got a result. First game of the season at Newcastle when they were down to 10 men and we were all over them. We should have beaten Leicester.
Yeah.
We should have beaten Ipswich.
Yes.
We potentially could have got a result against Liverpool. We could have beaten Brighton. So I look at it and go, Wolves, we could have scored an equaliser, so God knows what had happened if that had counted. So
you've just had a winner disallowed for no reason.
That's what. So it's tough. It's tough, but 2 wins and
the thing is,
you're
as well,
back
is
in it.
Them little things that are going against you now might not in 2 months' time.
No, we've got to play all these teams again.
And that's the thing, isn't it? Is if you get them little decisions going your way next time, you could quite easily climb the table.
We really need those teams. But like you said, from West Ham down,
so could the others.
We need them teams to keep on losing at the moment.
You need them
We're
to go
relying
for a
on them
stinker.
losing. Because, like I say, our games are...
I think because you're already 4 points behind, even the team above you.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a... I mean, it is hard viewing, isn't it? Let's be honest.
I mean, we've got Chelsea, Villa, Spurs...
There's a couple of teams I'd like to see in that position,
in,
like Tottenham. So. I wouldn't even find it difficult looking at Tottenham in that position. I'd find it hilarious. But
I'm going to ask one question, though. I mean, we've all...
Answer yes.
Yes. We have raised the issue about, like, would you change the manager? If you were to replace, swap, or change any player during the January transfer window, what do you think you are missing?
Striker. We haven't replaced Danny Ings, and that's a long time ago.
Do
Like
you
you
not?
say, not a
Do you
ball
not
striker.
agree with at Chando 1805 in that Dibbling is just bang average?
I know
and
you've
pretty
already
useless?
said that. So
No, I'm just saying. Do you agree with him?
absolutely
Because
not.
he would quite happily get rid of him at this point.
Yeah.
I personally, I'd quite happily have him at Arsenal because I think he's brilliant.
Yeah.
I
think
even
we've
the
got to go-
strikers, I'm not sure. I think you need Ramsdale back because I don't think McCarthy's helped you in the last few games.
They've got to play smarter. I agree. There's playing out from the back, but he needs to not play out from the back. Maybe only do it 75% of the time. The team need to learn when not to do it.
Did you watch the Arsenal game? Did you watch any of it?
Which one? The
West Ham.
West Ham. No.
Yeah. Right. Now, the West Ham Arsenal game, West Ham, every single time their keeper got the ball, left back, right back, centre back, left back, right back, centre back. Ball goes back to Raya, hoofs it upfield. We're second in the league. And most of the time, we didn't piss about at the back. Ball went back to Raya and he hoofed it forward. And I'd say
'Cause
that's
that's where you
probably
want the ball.
60% of the time.
Yeah.
There was, about half the time he'd get it, there'd be space, so he'd go and play it to Timber or play it to Calafiori or Gabriel, but there was tons of space. If there was the slightest hint of someone coming with them, upfield. Why couldn't West Ham do that? Why do they have to play out from the back all the time?
I don't know.
Why do you have to play out?
Because
I
apparently
don't understand this.
No, the
this
psychology
mentality.
is that the goalkeeper becomes an extra defender, which means you've
Yes,
got an extra player
But
on the
when
pitch.
that extra defender is shit at his job, get him to do something else.
I mean, I never mentioned it before, but I thought Lumley did okay.
Lumley didn't do
You
too
wouldn't
bad.
have an F1 team.
No.
An F1 team wouldn't have one of them guys changing the tyres, and he's fucking good at it, and go, jump in the car, mate.
Yeah.
Stick to what you're good at.
Yeah.
Guess what? McCarthy's shit at it. Stop it. Get fucking rid of the ball. Because do you know what? At least it gets you out of your fucking third. McCarthy should just go, fuck off, and clear the ball. Fight for it. And if you don't fight for it, I'm going to fucking get on your back.
Now, you see, against Chelsea, I want to see McCarthy in goal. I want us to hoof a ball up the pitch, and I want McCarthy because I think McCarthy will be the better shot stopper than Lumley. Because I expect a lot of
I
shots.
don't know enough about Lumley.
I expect a lot of shots
Don't know
against
enough
Chelsea.
about
I'm going to word it like this. He's a good third place keeper.
Okay, that's pretty damning.
No, he's good for third choice.
Yeah, that's pretty shocking, though,
Yeah.
isn't it?
You're not expecting
It's good
him
as long
to
as
play.
he's never going to fucking play in his life. And that guy's probably on fucking our yearly wages
Oh, yeah,
every
absolutely.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
And he shit at his
So-
job. Jesus Christ. Oh, it's sad.
So, as we go back up to the top, so Manchester City play Forest next. I mean, that's going to be a interesting game, that one, in midweek. Because if
Yeah, 'cause
Forest
there's a
can
point in
get
it.
something,
There's literally
that's
a
what I
point in it.
mean. If Forest can get a result there, I mean, they're going to be going up the table. Man City are going to be outside of the Europa League place. They're already out the Champions League places at the moment.
I can't see where City
Are
getting the next
Manchester
win from.
City out of the title race now, being 11 points behind Liverpool?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes. Manchester City are not catching 11 points on Liverpool.
If it was Arsenal, my answer would be different. But as it stands right now, City are not in the title race.
No. I don't see Liverpool dropping 11 points.
Yeah. No, I don't.
That-
Like I say, if
no,
Arsenal
but-
were top with fucking Arteta and Zippy and Bungle, I reckon they could quite easily catch them. Because they caught us in March when we were 8 points clear. So
It's not an... Right. All I'm going to say is... It's
Nothing's
not impossible.
it's improbable.
Yes.
I think
It's improbable.
Southampton mathematically can still win the Premier
I
League.
wouldn't... I wouldn't write City out just yet.
Oh, God.
No, Manchester
don't take
City.
any maths exams, will you?
No, Manchester City are not catching Liverpool. They are
No,
not gaining
I
them
don't
11
think.
points.
I think they've already knocked themselves out of the title race. But then, to be fair, we're second, and I don't think we're in the title race.
You think that your 9 points is tough?
Insurmountable for us.
I said it a couple of weeks ago. Liverpool were probably favourites to win the league.
Oh, they're
Oh, they
definitely
are.
favourites to
No,
win the
they
league
are.
now.
Did you know that
They're-
today was the first time in 7 years that Manchester City were not favourites to win a game?
Wow.
In that time, we've had 5 prime ministers, Man United have had 7 managers, and Watford have had 14 managers.
That's
And that's
crazy.
the
More
first
stats.
time-
We are.
that's the first
Stats
time
Central this week. Hope you
That Man
appreciate
City, in over 7 years, like 2,000 something odd games, they've not been favourite to win.
That's crazy.
It's
And
going to
be
take
fair,
a
they didn't.
Liverpool implosion to them not
I mean,
win the
it's-
league.
We've seen
It's
it happen.
not impossible because, like I say, I was going to say apart from today, but let's be realistic. City is shit at the moment. But Liverpool have not been convincing in the games. They were lucky to draw against Arsenal. They were easily beaten by Forest.
They were
they were
lucky to
lucky-
win against us.
Very lucky to win against you
Yeah,
guys.
you should have been. You should have had a penalty. You would have been 3-1 up. I
And the
don't.
game
I
would
wouldn't
have
have
been
seen.
over.
I wouldn't have seen them coming back from that.
No, I wouldn't. So they've not been as
They
convincing
weren't
as
that
the
good
league
against
table makes them look.
Brighton.
Brighton.
Would you?
no,
I
was
would
about
like to
say
point
Brighton.
out actually. I don't know if I can find it, but I would like to point out right that Arsenal. Right now, I'll actually just get the. We're the only club actually that have done it.
I'm not going to lie. Looking at the next few fixtures, they do technically have what you would consider an easy run. But
Who's that?
Liverpool.
They've got to go
But-
to Everton away.
This was what I was about to say.
And Newcastle away is not
Everton's-
exactly...
They always turn up Everton on the.
Right. So Arsenal so far,
Yeah.
they played Villa away, Tottenham away, City away, Liverpool at home. We've played Newcastle away, Chelsea away, and we are the only team to play that many of the top 6 away from home to this
yeah.
point. So none of our fixtures now are going to be any more difficult than that.
All of Liverpool's
Yeah.
big games. Arsenal is away. Chelsea was at home. We don't class Man United because, yeah,
Shocking.
yeah. Who else would I class here as a big team?
Liverpool's collapse could come in April time,
I mean,
where they play Spurs, who could be good on the day. It
Spurs beat
depends how
City 4-0
Spursy
and
they
then
go.
get beat by Ipswich. So
Yeah.
it depends which Spurs show up.
Yeah.
Then they go Chelsea away, Arsenal at home, Brighton away. Them 4 games, and then they play Palace last game of the season. So with 5 games to
difficult
go,
running that is.
Liverpool have got a difficult run with
But
5 games to go.
If they're still 12 points clear, it's not going to matter.
No.
no, you're right. But it's just the big key game, the ones that you look at and go, that's a big tough game. They haven't played them yet.
No.
They've played
Just
the homes.
Arsenal. Just Arsenal. And they were lucky in that game. Very, very, very lucky in that game.
Yeah, they were.
They shouldn't have got the draw.
But again,
we
they
should have beaten them.
They shouldn't have got the result against Southampton. They were definitely... Southampton was screwed.
Mm.
And I'm not saying that because he sat there.
Yeah.
I'm saying that because...
Oh, no,
it's
because we
2-1.
take great pleasure if you were shy and
Oh,
telling you were
yeah,
shy.
I'd love it.
But they're saying that Liverpool are up in arms about that Dibbling penalty.
Why?
That VAR just screwed them over because it wasn't a penalty, apparently.
VAR screwed them over because they finally got something right.
Yeah. And then got one wrong 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
So, no. they've
Even
got-
though that decision was 100% correct and it was a penalty.
Yeah.
I don't know. But, right, I think we should probably leave it there, boys, because we've gone over a little bit.
Never mind.
And we thank you very much for joining us. And we do, again, sincerely apologise about last week. We know it was horrendous, but it was out of our control.
Yep.
And we have replaced what went wrong. And hopefully this week is going to sound much, much better.
I hope so.
Because if it doesn't, I may just cry myself to sleep. Because it was pretty painful last week. I haven't put any shorts up or anything this week because it was just pointless. You couldn't hear anything.
No.
And we will have Vinny back on next week. So, like, obviously the conversation's not going to be exactly the same, but a lot of the things that we were talking about we'll go through again with Vin next week.
Yeah.
You might not be here, Tin Ribs, next week.
Correct.
So Vinny will, although he did really well in Who Am I, he's
Yeah, he
actually
did.
going to take your
Yeah.
place
That's fine.
next
I'm
week.
confident with Vinny.
Yeah, I'm not at all surprised. Actually, he's quite knowledgeable. To be fair,
Yeah.
He's, for someone that works at a primary school, he's definitely keeps up with his football, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So fair play to him. So yeah, don't worry too much about last week, because although we had Vinny on, we're having him again next week, and we'll get back into some of the stuff that we were talking about with him. So from myself, Jim Jam and Tin Ribs,
Good night.
it is goodbye and au revoir, and we shall see you beautiful people next week.
Yep.
Thank you very much.